All right. So I got kids getting ready to go to bed. So I'm not sure how long I have on this, but I wanted to finish my exploits from Florida. And trying to get home from Florida. So one of my aunts and I flew down together. I'm getting comfy, so let me resituate. Okay. So one of my aunts and I flew down together. We were flying back together. We booked a later flight because we didn't want to waste our day. So we booked a later flight. We're supposed to get home at like 11. I was going to come home. My husband was going to go to work this morning early, but I'd be home by 11, no issues. So we spend the day. It's raining in Key West. We got to this beautiful brunch on this patio, watch the rain, go back to the house, lay on the couch, chill, enjoy the beautiful rain. They have this wall of windows that opens all the way up. We had opened them up so we could hear the rain. Great day. So our flight left at 6. So if you've ever been to the Key West airport, it's about the size of this chair I'm sitting in. There's only 6 gates, teeny tiny. So we get there at like 4:45. Check our bags, go in, walk around the 2 shops that they have, grabbed a bottle of water, and got ready to fly. We get upgraded. My aunt and I both got upgraded to first class. We were like, yes, because we have automatic status upgrades, but I've never actually gotten one. I have enough status to go on the automatic upgrade list, but not enough to go anywhere near the top of it. So usually I'm like number 15 on the upgrade list, and they have 2 seats available or something like that. So we both got upgraded. We were like super excited. So we get in first class. It's a 20-minute flight, okay? 20 minutes from Key West to Miami. So we get all settled in our first class seats for our 20-minute flight. Take off, land, no issues, get off. Our next gate's a ways, but not horrible. It's like a 20-minute walk. So my aunt and I walk, we stop, go to the bathroom, like talk, having a great time. We get to the new gate. We sit down, we've got like 2 hours. Perfect timing. I watched a little bit of my iPad. I had downloaded this really cool show, which I'm going to cover in one of the episodes of the podcast because it was fascinating. It has to do with a major fast food chain, and it was something I had never seen or heard of before. So I'm really interested to dig into that and share that with y'all. But I was watching this show. Do you hear my train? We have a train track like 3/4 of a mile behind our backyard, and I love it. I love hearing the train horn. The people in the area tried to do a petition that they couldn't honk the train horn because it was so close to the neighborhood, but I absolutely love it. It failed for safety concerns, not because I love it, but I love it. So my backyard is just green space, and in the summer it looks like I'm in the middle of nowhere, right? But I'll show you as the leaves start falling. There's actually a major roadway like right on the other side of those trees, and so in the winter it sucks because I can see the road and it's not as pretty, but in the summer I love it because I feel like I'm in the middle of nowhere. Anyway, where was I? So I was watching my show. About an hour before the flight gets ready to take off, 30 minutes before boarding. Again, I was 21st on the upgrade list with 0 seats available. Not gonna happen. I got up to walk around a little bit. I went to use the bathroom. I was gonna get some food. The place I wanted to go to sounded great, but then when I got there, it didn't sound good anymore. Have you had that? Like, I was really excited about going to get food here when we were walking to the gate, but then I got there and there was a little bit of a line, but not horrible, so that wasn't the issue. But as I stared at the menu, nothing sounded good. And I was like, well, crap. But it's a 3.5-hour flight from Miami to Dallas, so I knew I was going to get hungry. The flight was 8 o'clock to 9 o'clock to midnight. We were going to land at midnight. So I knew that I needed to get food. So I walked around a little bit, stretched my legs, found a great place, got some food, came back. My aunt went and walked around, stretched her legs, whatever. Boarding time comes, no issues. We're in like group 3, we board, we get all settled in, get my iPad out, I'm watching my iPad, people sit next to me, we do the whole thing. And then we wait, and the flight attendants are just standing up front laughing and like having a good time. The cockpit door's still open. We're like 15 minutes after takeoff. So So my aunt and I were like, what is happening? So we wait and we wait, and then these two people board, and I'm like, okay, well, maybe somehow, planes used to do that, not anymore. They were waiting on these people. So these people get seated towards the back of the plane, they eat everything, and then we're sitting, we're like, what is happening? So about 35 minutes after takeoff was supposed to happen, the pilot gets on the intercom and says, we've radioed to our maintenance department, there's an issue, we're not sure how they're going to handle it, but we're going to get you underway as soon as possible. Since it's been 30 minutes, FAA says you can get off the plane, walk around, but if the issue gets fixed, we're leaving, and if you're not back on the plane, sorry. So everyone stays. We're sitting there. It's like night, almost 10 o'clock at night now, and so no one's getting off the plane. Everyone's going either home or to work, a work thing in the morning, so we're waiting, and about another 15 minutes later, he gets on the intercom and says, okay, here's the deal. When we did our walk around, the 4 brake lines on the plane, three of them were great. One of them we noticed was slightly frayed. So the maintenance department is trying to decide if they need to replace it or they can patch it. Now, I don't know about you. As I've said in other videos, I'm not an airplane mechanic or a roofer or a fridge repair person or a washer repair person or any of these things. So to me, I would like brake lines that don't have electrical tape on them. I mean, maybe they do a lot and I don't know, but I don't want to know about it. So we're all sitting there like, what do you mean patch it? So we're waiting some more. About 15 minutes later, so we're almost an hour out now. He comes on and says, okay, they've decided they want to replace it. So we've got to get off the plane, get a different plane, and then we'll be able to get you home. So I'm like, crud. So he says, give us 5 minutes. We'll deplane and get you to where you need to go. So we wait 5 minutes, we get up, we deplane. The gate that we have to go to is back where we landed from Key West. It's like a 20-minute walk back the other way. I got all my steps in yesterday. So we walk all the way back. We're sitting there, we're waiting. I can't find my boarding pass because I didn't have a phone. So it's not on my phone. I had to have a paper one. So I have to go up and get a new one printed. We're waiting. Now I'm starting to freak out. Because we were supposed to land at like midnight. I said 11 earlier, midnight. Now we've been delayed almost 2 hours, and my husband has to be at work at 4 a.m. So we were supposed to land at midnight, so now we're like at 2 a.m. and I'm starting to freak out because if we get delayed any longer, he's got to leave for work, and I've got kids at home that aren't old enough to be home alone. So I call him, he's calling his mom to see if she can be on standby. I hate to do that because it's 2 a.m. But we board the plane, everyone gets seated, we pull out, we're taking off. Thank the Lord. My only concern at this point is making sure our bags got there, because that was a pretty quick turnaround for our bags to get off the broken plane to the new plane. But I'm like, these guys are pros, right? They got it. Excuse me. So, 3.5 hour flight, really easy flight, no turbulence. We land. The airport is closed. Like, we get off the plane and I fly out of DFW airport all the time. It's like the 3rd biggest airport in the country. There is not a soul in this airport. It was eerie, like almost end of the world eerie, how quiet the airport was. Both my aunt and I stood there and was like, this is disturbingly empty and quiet. Not in a scary way, but just eerie. So we go out to baggage claim. All of the lights are off in the baggage claim area except over this one carousel. I wish I'd taken pictures because it kind of looked like the apocalypse. Like, it's the only light working. So we're waiting and we're joking. We're like, I bet they had to call someone in baggage handling to wake up, come over and get our bags on the carousel. The guy on like the Zamboni thing that cleans the floors came by. I mean, it was like, this airport is not supposed to be open right now. So it was probably another 30 minutes until the bags started coming. I'm coming. And now, since we have status, we're priority, but because of all the shuffle, obviously the priority and the not priority got mixed together, which is fine. We finally get our bags. Oh, and this whole time we're sitting at baggage claim, this guy's walking around with this chihuahua, off leash, just wandering the airport. And I'm like, this seems weird. Like, almost like another country where there's just like dogs roaming around, which is fine. I love dogs, but not something you expect to see in a US airport, of this guy just like roaming around with his off leash chihuahua, right? So we get our bags, we go get an Uber. I don't have a phone, so my aunt does a 2-stop Uber to get me home and then to get her home. We get in the Uber, everything's fine. My car is actually at my mom's, so I Ubered to my mom's, or she Ubered me to my mom's. I get in my car, get everything loaded up, drive home. I get home, I'm not kidding you, 3:15 a.m. Excuse me. I come in the house, I drop my stuff, I go in my room, I go get jammies on, I climb into bed as my husband's alarm is going off. We barely were able to squeak a parent home and a parent away at the same time. If the Uber had taken longer, if the bags had taken longer, if the plane had taken longer, I don't know what we would have done. So he wakes up, hey, good, hi, bye, like leaves for work. So I get like 2.5 hours of sleep. I have to go get the kids up. I wake them up, get them off to school. Thankfully, they were very good. I go back to bed. I sleep for like 3 more hours because the phone store's not open yet. I wake up at like 10:30. I go to the phone store. I'm doing what I need to do, and he goes, oh, is your husband with you? And I'm like, no. He's like, well, he's the authorized user on the account. He doesn't have you listed. And I'm like, look, I literally do all the bills in this house. I do everything. I should be on the account. And he's like, well, you're not. So I'm like, well, I can't call my husband. I don't have a phone. So I use his phone. I call my husband. He authorizes me to talk to the guy, whatever. So we start the process, pick out the phone, start doing what we need to do. And then he goes, okay, I'm going to have to text you a code to authorize your account. I just like stared at him. And he's like, what? I'm like, I don't have a phone for you to text. Oh, do you have another way to access that phone? And I'm like, no. My watch is Bluetooth. I don't do data on it, so it can't get text because it's not near the phone. My iPad doesn't have data, and all I can get are iMessages. And he's like, okay, well, I can send a verification code to your email. And I'm like, great. I can't get it on my phone because I don't have a phone. Can I log into your computer? And he's like, yeah. So he sends a code. I go to log into my Gmail account. I need 2-factor authentication to get into my Gmail account to give me the code to get into his account. Sorry, I don't know why I'm so coffee. So I'm like, okay. And he's like, do you have access to this email? And I was like, yes, on my iPad at home. I can get access to the email. And he's like, okay. So I drive home. Luckily, it's like 10 minutes up the road. Grab my iPad, drive back, log in, get everything situated. And then I go up to the counter and he's like, oh, sorry, I'm helping this guy now. Like, if you just wait, I'll be done in a minute, or my colleague over here can help you. And I'm like, okay. So I'm waiting. They have Friends on, which is great. I'm watching Friends. Haven't watched that in a while. And one guy looks like he's free. So I get up and I go talk to him and I say, hey, I was working with this dude over here. Here's the stitch. I'm ready to activate the new phone. And he's like, oh, I don't know. I don't know how far he was with you. You should wait. And I'm like, he literally said to ask someone. I look down. This is the store manager. So annoyed. So I go sit back down. So the guy who was helping me comes over and he's like, is everything okay? And I'm like, no, he said he couldn't help me. I had to wait on you. He's like, oh, okay, hold on. So he gets this other guy's phone set up. He comes over. We get my data, start transferring. My Apple ID won't sign in. I know it's the right password because I just reset it when I reset my iPad. 4 days ago. So, had brought my old phone with me just in case. It's like a iPhone 12 or something. I'm like, I have this 12. Can we do a data transfer from it? So we do, and it works fine, except that it's transferring data from like 3.5, 4 years ago. Luckily, I mean, the iCloud, once I got signed into iCloud, it pulled all my contacts and my photos and all of that. But the settings are what I had like 3.5 years ago. So I am so sorry. I should have brought water out here. But I'm almost done. I get my settings. So now I have my new phone, and I'm just having to go redo all the settings. And I've just had the same settings for so long, it's weird that you don't like think about the weird settings. But I have found some cool new settings, so I'm doing that. I have to go to work tomorrow in office, which happened while I was out of the office, so I'm not happy about that. But I have to drive to work tomorrow, but then my plan is to finish getting my phone set up and get back to the videos, because I have not worked on those in a week. But I'm super anxious to get them launched for you. So I will be in touch with when those videos are coming out. Leave a comment if you have any ideas, suggestions, anything like that, and we will get this rolling. All right, see you soon.